Hello everybody, hello to you. So I'm going live as explained in the short post earlier in my morning, and I will just wait. Hello Becky, hello, oh, it's good to see you. Hello Nelia, I'm just going to wait for a few people to drop in, and then we'll get cracking. I just feel it's more than time to actually give an update, which hopefully will help everybody. Actually, everybody that tunes in, hopefully it will give some clarity to them and their life and their timeline and where they are and where everybody else is. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm just seeing who's here, and we'll just give people a few minutes to come in, just a couple of minutes, and so I'll just waffle and be here with you for the time being, just while we wait for some more, so that they don't miss the start. And to any of your friends that aren't on Facebook, I will upload this to the YouTube channel. It's just Amanda Lawrence on YouTube. I'll get it uploaded for those that don't use Facebook. I hope it helps. It's because of, so I'm just waffling while I wait for people to come in, but it's because speaking to so many different people, I'm witnessing their timelines and where they are, and everybody's where they are, it's all different. And I just feel that if I give the whole picture, it will help everybody know where they are and why other people aren't there and why new people are there, okay, and why these people are reacting a certain way and why some people aren't reacting a certain way. So hopefully that's the aim of this video, is just to give the whole of the picture, and then at least you can see that bigger picture. There's always peace when you see the bigger picture. It's only when we're directly in our human and we fall into the Maya or into the turmoil that it can cause suffering. But if you come out of that and see the bigger picture, then you will be in peace, because there's no suffering there. So we will get cracking, because there's 230 something people here, so we will start. Okay, so as I say, I've been just witnessing the different timelines for everybody. We're each a unique facet, a unique diamond light, and so we each see from a different perspective. There's no one person in this world that sees from my perspective or your perspective. You're unique for a reason, and it's your balanced perspective that you should be listening to, because it's you that ascends you. There is no piggybacking. It is literally you that takes you through the eye of the needle, or however you want to phrase it. It doesn't matter what terminology we use. It doesn't matter what words we use to try and describe what on earth is going on in this collective timeline. So if the wording doesn't resonate, please let that go and just see the intention is to help. Use your own terminology, your own wording, and when you resonate with your own phrases, that's what helps you make sense of everything. It's not about using my words or anybody else's words. It's just about you honouring you and being true to yourself. So we know that some people are experiencing bliss, heaven on earth, the divine within them. And then we know that within awakened communities, there is a great deal of separation, great deal of division. And then we can see the unawakened world and see also that there are people there in a great deal of peace, a great deal of love, And there's also turmoil within that third dimensional experience of the unawakened. So we've got this whole great big soup, if you like. How do we make sense of it? That's what I want to talk about. I'm going to take you back to, I think it was last December 2019, when I shared a learning experience. I think it may well have been on somebody else's show, I can't remember. But I spoke of what I'm going to repeat, because when I repeat this, it's because it's now. It's this timeline. It's already been happening. So the experience last December, just as a reminder, and also for the people that are new here, I was shown, and I just want you to try and imagine this yourself, and then you will see it and understand it far more if you can just imagine it in your mind's eye. I was shown, and this was for Mandy, you need to be aware of this, okay? I was shown a train, and all of this is just analogy, but that's how I was shown. I was shown in visual form, that's how I work. So I was shown the analogy of a train, and there were many carriages to this train. On the train, in my carriage, I couldn't move to another carriage. Nobody could swap carriages, but there were many people in the carriage I was in. Many. And this train was taking everybody to what we can label 5D and above. And I emphasize the above. This train was taking us. Then the train stopped at a station. And many people that are in the spiritual community, that are highly awakened individuals, started to prepare themselves to get off the train at this station. And I asked them, why are you getting off? This train's going to 5D. Why are you getting off? And they told me they were getting off to go back into the 4D and help clear up the mess. And they were the words, clear up the mess. So when this person who was in a nurse's uniform told me this, and I witnessed them getting off the train at the station, and by the way, the station was in March this year, okay? So if you want to know when did that stop happen on the train, it was March. It was the time that the virus kicked in worldwide, so after China, and it spread. It was March that those people chose to get off the 5D train and go and help 4D. Now I remember explaining last December this, the sheer amount of unconditional love that these beautiful souls have for the whole, that they chose to let go of their own trajectory that they were on for themselves, headed to 5D. They chose to get off that train because they saw what we could call all the infiltration, all the agendas, all the darkness, whatever you want to label it, it doesn't matter. All the power over, all of that stuff. They saw it and they chose to get off the 5D trajectory and help clear up the mess in 4D. So I was then catapulted to that scene in 4D that the person was talking about. And I saw the darkness there. I saw the intentions to thwart the ascension process. The intentions were towards unawakened human beings and awakened human beings. And I saw what was going on. And then I saw the light workers that had got off the train to help. And I saw their actions and how they were literally helping to put out the fires. That's just an analogy, to put out the fires. So now what I want to say clearly is those people got off the train in March this year. And that's why within the spiritual community, we've all witnessed changes within people that we know. And it's because, some of us may have thought, we're with this person, we're all going up together. And then suddenly it all changed. And suddenly somebody who was going like this just went straight away over there, got triggered by the virus. The virus was the point, it was the catalyst. It was the station that people chose to get off at to help the whole. That's why it seems at a very, very basic human level that people changed, people got triggered, people kind of lost their way on their path. Did they lose their way on their path? No, they're in service. They're in service to all. And they chose to let go of their own path to 5D to help in an environment that was struggling and needed help. So, if I go back to the train itself, this is also a beautiful part, because everything is beautiful at the higher levels. In the carriages of this train that's headed to 5D, of course there are people that stay on it and carry on to 5D. So if we go back to March again, when the virus truly kicked in worldwide, while some people went over there and reacted, and it appeared that they changed direction, okay, bear in mind it's a bigger picture, there's a bigger reason for that. There are also those who didn't get off, whose path it was to carry on to 5D, and I'm talking about the awakened community. So some people did not react adversely to the virus. Some people, it did not faze them, it didn't sway them from their trajectory, their path, their crystalline program, which is no, you keep going straight up. So that's why for some people it has never affected them, mentally, emotionally, physically. But, and this is the bit that could easily make you cry, or me cry, who else was on the train? Unawakened. This is what I explained last December when I told you this information that came through. The unawakened are on the train to 5D. And I was shown that in two different ways, so that I would understand from the information that the unawakened, even though they didn't know it, were en route to 5D. So those human beings have chosen to leave it to a much later stage in the galactic timeline before they awake. They're souls, just like you and I. And they've said at soul level, no, I want the surprise. I want to feel the complete and utter surprise. I don't want to go through all the paths of years and years and years of being awake. I don't want to go through that. I just want to have the surprise right at the end. And that's what they chose at soul level. So there's nobody higher than or less equal or more than. We're all souls. Excuse me, I just need some water. Okay. So that was the information that I relayed last December. And it's exactly where we are now and where we have been for a good while. But there's lots that's been happening behind the scenes for every individual that has led us up to this point. So still with the analogy of the train that is headed to 5D with unawakened people on it and some awakened people on it. When the unawakened wake up, and that ties into the event wave, and that's why I'd like to touch on it if I've got time and I don't talk too much. If not, I'll do another video on the event wave. But when the unawakened wake up, they do need a form of assistance. They've chosen to awaken at a different timeline. They won't be going through the well-known spiritual path that we've been on as awakened human beings. They won't be taking their time to reach the point that we can say we reach. They won't be taking all that time, because time speeds up and speeds up and speeds up. So the people that stayed on the train, that are highly awakened, really from January the 2nd of this year, those highly awakened people have quietly all around the world in different cultures, okay, different countries, and this, we're talking about the mass collective ascension here, okay, but they have quietly since January the 2nd been embodying awakening to the God within them. So we know that every single being is a facet of Source, of God, of all that is, whatever you want to call Prime Creator. It doesn't matter what you call it. It doesn't actually mind what you call it. But they, instead of deviating off, they've still been doing this since January. Embodying a tiny bit at a time, more and more and more, what I call essence. And the truth is, every single individual that exists, every human being already has that essence of God. You can't be here and not have that. It's the awakening, the consciousness, the awareness that you are it. That's what we're talking about. Waking up a second time to the fact that you have become awake within your physical, mental, emotional, etherical bodies to the essence of Creator, Source, all that is. So it's an awake consciousness to the God within and the God literally everywhere. Everything. The people on the train have been doing that. They've been embodying more and more and more consciousness, more and more energy, more awareness. Their world is different to a lot of people's worlds now, because they're still on the train and they will be helping. Their job is to help the people that instantly awake. So the people that are asleep right now in 3D, when they become awakened, the people that will help them cope, help them manage, will be the people that have gone through their ascension to the point of embodying the essence. It's already in there, as I say, but it's the awareness of God's energy within and without. Now, the way they will be doing it, because please bear in mind that everything speeds up, so these people that are unawakened aren't going to be going through a long ascension process through 4D, 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 4D the way we have. It will be much quicker for them. And so the assistance that these awakened beings that are on the 5D train give them isn't mental assistance. It's not the typical 4D assistance of mental support, emotional support, theoretical support, understandings, mental brain understandings. It won't be that they give that to these people that are newly awakened. They will give energy. They will transfer energy to the newly awakened people. And why? Because it's quicker. No words are necessary. It's quicker on a faster timeline when that comes. And so this is why the people that are in God conscious awareness now, or coming into it very, very shortly, because it is a journey and it does take time at the moment, they are also embodying energetic abilities. So their support won't be verbal, it won't be through linear kind of ways that we've had in the 4D, because 4D is only a temporary place to transcend out of. It will be an energetic exchange, and this is already happening. It's been happening all year. The energy exchange people are able to give, it's already happening. We could easily say that, well, people are always giving energy, you know, because everything's connected. We can easily say that, and that's absolutely true, yes. But I'm talking about conscious energy ability. The ability to meet somebody, be able to connect so deeply that you're able to give the energy to them in whatever form the creator within you knows to give in the highest way. So it's not a mental activity of the person that's giving energy. They don't have to think about, how do I help you? They don't have to know a person's story or circumstance. It's beyond the linear mind. It's the higher mind, because they've embodied it. And so they can give the highest energy that that individual actually needs. And they don't even need to know what it is. And so that's why, hopefully, I've explained why you've got some people still on this train, headed to 5D, because they're talking, they're basically in the community now talking about God. That's how you recognize them, because they're talking about the divine within them. They're talking about just being, because for them, that's how they give. They give through energy, not through words. Hopefully that explains the speed up, because it's all speeding up. It explains also about the unawakened, because nobody is left behind. Nobody. But what I want to go into now is 4D and explain that the huge array of energetic spaces within 4D. Okay? And then that will hopefully help people to see where they are, and also help them to see where other people are. Because it is confusing out there if you just take it at human face value, at word value. It can be quite confusing. So bearing in mind, I've done a little diagram. It's hard holding this all the time, but if you want to take a snapshot of, oh hey, which way? This way. That if you want to take a snapshot, you can also go back to the video, freeze it, and take a snapshot of that. So we've got the train at the top. Okay, I'm just going to move so that I can do this a bit easier. We've got the train at the top, and we've got the awakened on it going to 5D, as well as people who don't know anything about that, which is beautiful. And they will be helped by the ones that have stayed on that track. But look at March. This is March. And so you can see that some of the awakened carried on towards 5D and above, because highly awakened people won't be residing, their bodies will be in 5D, yes, but their consciousness won't be. It will be much higher than the 5D. Then you've got March happened. Highly awakened people got off the train to be the support team, to be the ground crew, to help clear up this mess that has been created over a long time in 4D. Okay, and then you've got the unawakened who are on track to 5D. So this down the bottom, the circle, is what I'm representing as 4D. And I'm just doing it in kind of segments so that you can and none of this is exact, it's just my perspective, okay? You've got this segment of people that are just here, that have come off the train. They're highly awakened individuals. They will be teachers, they'll be speakers, and it seems like they've deviated off their path. Well, they haven't. They haven't at all. They're absolutely being true to their path. They absolutely are being true to their path. So they've come off. They may be, they're the ones that are helping to highlight the falsities within the 4D. They're helping to point to the truths by what is not true. You've got truth seekers in there as well. They will be people that still associate with light and dark, good and bad, because this is polarity. 4D is still a field of polarity. Whereas here, the people that have carried on, there's no polarity. There's no right or wrong. There's no light or dark. It's all it. It's all God to them. And so this is where you've got this difference of perspectives, because some have chosen to come and help here. And why? Because if they help here, they can help rise a mass of people that are stuck in 4D. That's why they've jumped off the train, because it's needed. What they've done is such an amazing act. And one day it will be known what they did. They forsook their own path to help here, so that they help by their presence, by their energy here. They're highly awakened people. They help lift in energy people in 4D that are awakened, that are stuck. And so we have this segment of highly awakened people still in polarity within 4D that have come off the train in March. Then we have a segment that is the power over, the control. You could call it the dark, you could call it black magic, you can call it galactic wars. It doesn't matter. It's still polarity, okay? But that is a huge influence, even though it's a small amount, it's a huge influence over these awakened individuals. And what this causes is interference within awakened individuals. It causes confusion within awakened individuals. And so we have these two segments, this one and this one. And in one of those segments, I can easily say that there's many awakened people in that area, that space, it's an energetic space that we just label 4D. You can label it what you like, but it's an energetic frequency, and they're stuck in it, and they keep cycling. So they're trying to do the work, they're trying to raise themselves, they're doing all sorts because they're on their path, but for some reason they're just cycling, you know. It's a slower process for them for some reason. And so it's these individuals that are going to be helping them. The people that have chosen to stay in 4D a little bit longer. They've come off the train, they've chosen to stay here to help so many just a little bit longer so that more people can come out and rise. And that's exactly what will happen, because nobody gets left behind. But you've also got a big segment here, which is awakened individuals or newly awakened individuals who are in complete distraction. So when I say complete distraction, what do I mean? I'll just put this down for a sec. If you imagine a tree, and I've done this before, but if you imagine a tree and the trunk of the tree is your path into full awareness of God's presence, which is heaven on earth. Imagine a world where everybody feels, knows, is within them God's presence. It means everything they participate in on the outside is God's presence. Imagine a world filled that way. That is heaven on earth. That is the higher dimensional earth we all seek to live on. So if you imagine that the trunk of the tree takes you there, and then you've got all these branches coming out of the tree as we ascend and step up, up, up in frequency. So one of these branches may be you go into the realm of tarot cards, and you explore that and you love it and it excites you, so you stay there. But actually there's this ascension for you going on. So you could create a business over there and that could be your focus, but actually you've got this ascension to do. Or it could be that you dive into aspects of yourself, focus in even to the minute detail of your previous life as an existence as a Syrian being or a Palladian being. And what if then that becomes the whole of your experience? In other words, you get stuck there, because actually that's beautiful. You're supposed to explore it. You're supposed to explore the tarot card analogy, but you're here to remember and be the new human being, which is the energy, the hue of God, realized, self-realized within you and you and you and you. So what I call branches of the tree, they're areas of exploration of you, because everything is you, everything. But if you get sidetracked too much down one of those branches, you're exploring it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at some point or another, your higher self will call you back to the main trunk of the tree, because your higher self wishes you to expand into the knowing of the presence of God within you. If you're just, and I say this in a very loose term, okay, if you're exploring an aspect of yourself, you're a human being exploring that. This and that, this and that. It's still polarity. You're still in a field of polarity. When you come back to the trunk at your own time, because it's all perfect that you're exploring yourself here, there and everywhere. But this galactic timeline draws everybody in and everybody up in one way or another, so that you can know that you are completely a very individual facet, but part of one. and it literally is one, where you literally know that you are linked to everything. And then at that point, there is no this and that. It doesn't exist. This and that just does not exist. It disappears. The veil goes. Or, as I said in a poem, the grit in your eye, which is the veil, basically. It goes. So, hopefully, that explains it. And, you know, I just drew this scale. Sorry about my fingers, by the way, but I've been gardening today, so they're full of soil, as always. But anyway, this here, this pot, so this is why there's so many different analogies of where we are, because literally from everybody's angle, they are actually correct from their own viewpoint. Okay, that, you know, they're correct in the sense that if they're balanced, they're correct. But what you can remember is that within this 4D, it's a massive range of frequency. And so when we're just newly awakened out of being asleep, we're here at the lower 4D. And it's at the lower 4D that the astral planes are. It's where the shadows, you can easily draw in shadows, darkness to you. You can cling on to them as long as you like until you do the work within you. And then when you do the work within you, those shadow aspects, they dissolve out of your field and out of your reality, because you're accepting that everything is one. It's all love, ultimately speaking. But at this level, you can't see it that way. You can only see it that way when you transcend up and up and up and up and up and up and up, out of the polarity of good and bad, dark and light, right and wrong, and all the rest of it. So you can see that, you know, there's going to be people here in 4D awakened in turmoil, people in judgment, people in huge separation within their minds. And then equally at the top end of the scale of the 4D are these heroes, absolute heroes, that have got off the train and are helping out. And so these are high frequency, highly awakened individuals that absolutely know what's going on. But they're here, helping to clear up this mess here, this small segment. Because by cancelling that out, by dissolving it, it helps these people here. And I hope I've explained that enough. I hope, because it's, you know, how to explain everything. You can't, can you? You can't. It's just my perspective. I hope that helps. Let's see what the time is. I will just quickly go on to the event wave information, just as a clarity on that. I'll just take a drink if that's okay. Okay, so event wave. You know, we could talk forever about this subject. Is it you know, I've witnessed the different perceptions on this over the years, and it's just encouraging that perceptions that didn't agree actually have gently changed their opinions on it. Is it an inside event? Yes. Is it an outside event? Yes. It's both. But what is it beyond that? Beyond that, it's not solid. So it's an inner event, because and if you think of the scale of frequency that I just talked about with the 4D there, that scale there, okay, that's us as human beings embodying more and more and more and more energy. The more energy we each embody, the more energy hurts we as an individual can withstand from the sun. So I will withstand a different energetic from the sun to somebody that is not awake. Okay, if they receive the same as me, They may have a heart attack, a stroke, leave, whatever. So everybody receives as much as they can withstand. Okay, that's the beauty of it. In 2014, I was given the simulation of the event wave. I know a few people all over the world have as well. I was given it with my eyes open. I could feel it with this body, how it felt and how I saw it, and also the scene of where I was. At the time, I did not know the tour existed. I did not know Glastonbury existed, apart from the festival. So since that time, as a collective, we have been embodying more and more and more energy. It seems that the sun is giving out more and more and more energy. It's building up our ability within us to withstand the maximum dose of energy as per a simulation I was given in 2014. The event wave is a series of energetic codes, a series of energetic patterns that come from the sun to the whole of the planet. The difference between the main event wave and the waves we receive right now in 2020, which is different to the waves we received in 2012, 2015, etc. The difference is frequency. In other words, strength of wave. So at least a year ago, we reached the point collectively of receiving all the codes from the sun. If I skip back to 2015, we received one code, only one code from the sun. I feel every code in my body as a physical vibration. In 2015, we received one code, and we received it every 6 months. And then we go to the next year and we got 2 codes, and it went to every 3 months. Then it went to every month, then every 2 weeks, then every week, and all the time we're getting more and more and more, we're getting more and more energetic coding from the sun. So if we fast forward to now, we're already receiving all the codes of the event wave. The only difference is the strength of the frequency. And that is why it will be a one-off frequency, a one-off event wave. So we've always been receiving these waves, but it's a particular one-off frequency that everything on this planet and everybody will receive at variable amounts of it. Also given as an assimilation back then in 2014 was a separate one, but a simulation was I was shown with these physical eyes the sun. I was actually inside a house when I was being shown it, so I wasn't actually looking directly at the sun. I was shown cloud formation around the sun, which looked gaseous to me. I was shown a series of coloured lights around the sun in sequence. And then it got to the pale green ray. And at the point that my physical eyes saw the pale green ray around the sun, the words that came, and I can't remember them now, but it was roughly, when you see the pale green ray, you know the wave is imminent. So I have always said on Facebook throughout these years, as we have been building towards this, that when I see with physical eyes that pale green ray that I will see, I will post it on Facebook. I will say pale green ray seen, event wave imminent. I just ask, please don't send me any pictures of photographs of the sun. I do get a lot of those, and it won't change anything by sending the pictures, because it will be a physical visual, if that makes sense. Thank you. So the actual assimilation I got in 2014, I was literally transported to a hill where there was green grass under my feet, and there was a landscape for miles before me. I didn't know then that that hill is the Tor. I know categorically the time of the event wave I will be stood on the Tor, the heart chakra. So now I want to talk about the heart chakra itself and the event wave. Is last solstice I received data that showed me all the people around the Tor, and I really forgot it. I actually only stumbled on it months and months later when I was looking for a recording of something, and I just stumbled on that one. But I received that information on 21st of December last year. In March this year, I received a third eyesight of people stood on the Tor, a number of people, all on the grass around the Tor. And then 2 weeks later, I received the data download of 1111 and all the different information about the geometrical formations, etc., etc. So that's why we did the 22 weeks of the Tor. Is that the end of people gathering around the Tor? No. It's not, because we haven't had the event wave. I don't know at this stage. I know that we were to practice gathering worldwide so that we understand our presence as energy, as anchorers of energy. Never underestimate. If you resonate with anchoring, and some people won't because it's not their job, it's not their role here to anchor, they'll be doing something else entirely different. But if you resonate to anchoring, then those 22 weeks at the Tor has helped you realize the power within you of how you can be present with yourself and your body and the energy. And everybody that was there week by week by week by week, everybody can easily say that they were not the same person when it finished 22 weeks later. They had completely changed because they were allowed to express themselves out, whether that was singing, whether it was moving, whether it was receiving. They were allowed to be love. And so for those people, it had a huge effect on the evolvement of the expression out of themselves. So in terms of the Tor, the work there is not finished. But what form that takes, I don't know. I have no idea at this point. I can only say that at the time of the event wave, I'll be stood on the Tor. And I also know, just to back up this information, of about 5 people, some of them aren't even in this country, that know that they will be on the Tor at the time of the event wave. So it's really interesting that a lot of people are getting the same information, that they will be stood on the Tor. And then what happens, or what I was shown back in March, was that this was the data, is that the energy comes in from the sun to the heart chakra. But at the same time, and this is where you have to understand there's no time, at the same time it hits the heart chakra, it then disperses out at the same exact time to the rest of the chakras all around Gaia. And then from those main chakras all around the world, energy from those chakras at the same time gets dispersed to all these different gates, and then those gates disperse the energy to more node points all around the world. And this is why it was so beautiful seeing Paul David Carey's map of the world and where everybody was stood, because you could see the node points, you could see the gates, and you could see the chakras where people were actually on anchoring. So it's all simultaneous. It's not that it happens to the heart chakra first and then goes on in time. It's not a time related thing. It's a simultaneous pulse of energy, one-off pulse of energy from the sun hitting the heart chakra. Boom, it goes out instantaneously at the same moment to all the different energy points. From that moment, and my understanding of that energy wave is about 10 minutes long. Each will feel it differently depending on their energy state and their consciousness. But from the moment of that, afterwards, after it's finished, nothing will ever be the same again. Everybody will feel energy. They'll feel it to different degrees. But it is the moment that those that chose to stay asleep the longest, just for fun, wake up. That's the moment they wake up. It won't be anything that can be denied. The energetic presence stays. So if you can just understand that, the air is all around us and we know we breathe air, now just think about an energetic coming in, photon light, and it stays. And it permeates everything, permeates you, your loved ones, the animals, the plants, the rocks, the air. It permeates everything and it stays. And nothing will ever be the same again. It's presence. Presence. But people will need assistance because some won't know what it is, they won't understand it. And that's where all of these people that have awakened ahead of it, whether they're in 4D and helping clear up the mess there, or whether they're on that 5D train, everybody that awoke will be able to help another because you've awoken ahead of the event wave. So you'll be the greatest assistance. So I hope that helps. It's gone on long enough. I will leave it there. I hope that the understanding of why everybody is where they are helps. So it may be that it's particularly since March really was the turning point. It may be that you're witnessing people that you thought you were on a path with, and you were all going there at roughly the same point in time, and then suddenly you know that you're not in the same space, and that this is why it's because some people chose to get off at that station and help the people that are stuck in 4D, the people that are cycling, the people that are distracted. It is what it is. But if you can see the bigger picture of why it is the way it is, then you don't have to get caught up in, he said this, and wow, I don't want to be around that person anymore, or any of that. You can just see the bigger picture of it all, and you see it with the eyes of love. you know, because literally everybody rises. And sure, there's going to be people that leave physically. They have chosen at soul level to either, you know, be that polarity, play the parts, be the actors of certain situations, whether it's within a family or whether it's within a government. People had to play those roles. So, you know, there will be people that exit, of course there will, because they've chosen to transition and then ascend. Whereas a lot of people have chosen to go through the experience of ascension whilst being in a physical, having a physical body, because how it ends up is that you know you're not human. You know your consciousness that has this magnificent vessel that you get to utilize. So I hope that helps explain, you know, lots of separation, lots of divisions, lots of different opinions. What really matters is you and your power. That's what matters, is listening to your heart, listening to the voice of the heart that is always showing you the way. It's not the chatter of your mind, and it's not the chatter of another person that is going to empower you. It's this. This is the way. Because love is an energetic. It's the energy of source. It's the energy of God. It's a particular frequency. And we embody more and more and more and more of that energetic we call love. So it's like a higher and higher and higher dosage of the energy of God. There, I'll shut up. Take care, everybody. I hope that helps somehow give you a perspective, not just of where you are, but of where others around you are. Because it's so beyond words, all of this. So look after yourself. We're doing perfectly well. It really is the perfect plan. And we get to be here and experience it ourselves. So we are all doing this together, regardless of how it looks, regardless of any separation you may witness in 3D or 4D. There's a beautiful divine plan above all of that separation, and that is God unifying all these aspects and bringing heaven to earth, quite literally, through this process, which we're in. So there you go. Enough said. I've said enough. I've talked enough. I best be quiet and just send you love. Not on your own. It's impossible. God bless you all. Take care and see you again. Bye for now. God bless. Bye-bye.